Hi, host Eric here with a response video to an ENTP who made a video called ENTP Ramble on Psychopaths, Sociopaths, and Love by a YouTuber named ENTP Girl. I'm responding to a couple different things on this. Actually, three different vectors I want to talk about. One I want to talk about is the notion of love as a not an emotion per se, but something else. And in coordination with that, the tendency to not feel very strongly that some ENTPs exhibit more than others. Second, I want to talk about the Christianity thing a little bit. I'm not Christian, but I'm going to defend it anyway. And number three, I want to talk about one Mr. James Enclave. Did you really get 4 thumbs up on that? Wow. I have to give that a thumbs down. Piao is what I say to that, Mr. James Enclave. So, I see I'm not the only person who busted his chops. But I think of what I want to respond to. I'm going to deal with this comment first here. So, what I think is interesting and what I'm responding to is this notion here. I mean, how incredibly fucking stupid can one be to almost fully adapt and associate everything about yourself with a personality test? I don't want to be blunt, but you're an idiot. I think you simply like attention. Stop playing. You feel too much. It's really tragic to watch you. I can't help but feel disgusted. You're completely deluded. Well, I mean, first of all, really? I mean, that's an awful lot of hostility towards a specific framing of personality. But it's something that we encounter occasionally. If you talk about these sort of things, you encounter some really false ideas about what this is, and some really backwards notions about how it's used and why it's of value. So first and foremost, understand that the cognitive functions are perspectives. They express how one tends to enter into the world and interact with a given moment. They don't express, I understand he's just trolling or whatever. But the point is, I like the fact that he brings up this horribly ill-conceived and misbegotten notion that being interested in personality types and or cognitive functions is somehow reductive, right? That's the tempting argument. If you're a douchebag like James Enclave, the tempting argument is you are being reductive, you are doing the same thing as horoscope people are doing, yada, 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 yada. But in fact, quite the contrary. What somebody who's involved in understanding these processes that are suggested by the Jungian cognitive functions is actually doing is understanding the different ways in which he or she has an opportunity to interact with the world through these various different perspectives. Now, are you trapped into any given perspective? No. But remember, it is absolutely the case that every moment of life you're practicing interacting with the world in one way or another. You have to make a choice. In fact, it's not even a choice. Usually. You can metacognate your way out of it. And I suspect that the hostility James Enclave is showing is due to the fact that he has some sort of intuitive understanding of the resonance of this. That in fact it's representative of something more than a personality test. That it's representative of the human experience as expressed through perspectivism. Archetypes that one can access for the purpose of repositioning reality through a different set of eyes in terms of recognizing the manner in which one comes upon things in the world is not inherently and obviously more correct than the alternative. Now, one fights hard to hold on to this NE, I think, is what one does. And when one is a teenager, youthful ENTPs are complete douchebags, usually. My daughter's not. And the reason is because she wasn't successful with that. She tried the whole ENTP argumentation thing with me, but what did I do all the time? I said, all right, look, this is what you're doing. I'm calling bullshit. Now let's actually talk about the truth. What's the actual truth? And then we figure it out, you know? So she didn't get that reinforced that she was gonna win. But if you are not raised by another ENTP, then you start pushing your parents around pretty young. You know, we certainly are not going to be, we're not going to be agreeable to arbitrary rules. So, okay, there's that. There's that whole function here. James Enclave is expressing the ENTP contrary nature in a particularly aggressive fashion, likely because he feels the resonance of the idea of perspectivism, likely because he understands intuitively his own lack of understanding, and strikes out at the notion that there may be something that's not his own idea, of his own creation, of his own extroverted intuition, that allows him to manifest his ego through this particular idea. Now, next, let's talk about this. I think you simply like attention. Well, yeah, she probably does like attention. That's why normally one would make a YouTube video. They like attention. I know. It's weird, isn't it? How as a culture we're so terrified of saying that. I want attention. This girl probably wants attention too. I don't doubt she's getting a lot of attention. I notice that she seems to have a lot more views than I do. I guess I'll bring up the subject. It's not something that I am fussy about. I'm not complaining about it. But obviously, if you're a really beautiful girl, you're going to, I guess, get a lot more views. I mean, I've noticed that on the videos where I've had a thumbnail of Delilah, there seemed to be a little bit more traffic, maybe. I don't know. This girl looks young, I'd say mid-20s? Maybe late 20s? Hard to say for sure. It was published almost an entire year ago, so it's fairly old. It's got 2,386 views on it, and I would say that the quality of the video is pretty good. You know, I mean, I'm enjoying it. About 5 minutes in, I'm kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't really seem to have a specific direction. I would stress that it's useful, hopefully this helps this video move along more quickly, to have some kind of a roadmap where I reference back to it. So I started by talking about specifically the comment. I got onto a moment of discussing, what did I do? I mean, see, I'm failing utterly, but at least I'm trying to do the roadmap. I really do think organization helps a lot. Well, the next thing I wanted to talk about, though, for sure, is this love is not an emotion thing. Oh, did I already talk about that one? Jesus Christ. Introverted sensing is letting me down. Or maybe that's extroverted sensing. I don't know. Back on fucking track, Eric. Rule number 2, don't use so much profanity, ENTP girl. You're offending all of our ears. Number 3, the Christianity thing. Right, I want to defend that, and I want to talk to the people down there in the comments who've been busting the chops on the Christianity thing. Like, one person's comment was, how can you reconcile this with your logic? Well, that's an excellent question, and that is something that I believe I would like to, and have been tackling for quite a while now and addressing with people, is this notion of flexible faith. Now, I'm not a Christian, I'm not any particular specific kind of deist, and I wouldn't even necessarily call myself a deist. It would depend, right? I mean, the thing is, the correct answer to any question about your belief in God is to find God. And hopefully we all know that by now. But I will point out the following thing. If you are coming down on the side of atheism, in the sense that you believe it's worth arguing the point, then you are not understanding what you are arguing against. You are not arguing against a deductively reached conclusion. You're arguing against a behavioral technique that provides this person utility beyond that which you currently have. If a person is able to balance, that is to say, maintain both contradictory truths in a way inside themselves without creating cognitive dissonance, either by reconciling them with a meta model or by accepting the fundamental unreconcilability of different truths from different areas, but that's still a meta model. Anyway, if you really think about it hard and you get it structured properly, what you become able to do is to execute faith in a way that allows you to gain all the benefits of the those who would normally be very religious without accruing any of the negative risks of being fundamentally irrational. So you need to embrace the non-rational to be fully rational. It's simply the case, okay? If you're still shooting fish in a barrel and talking about how dumb religion is, I'm very disappointed. What are you, an ESTP or something? That sounds like ESTP intelligence. I mean, really. Why don't you feel extra smart by making fun of flat earth theory, you know? Can you believe those flat earthers believe in the world is flat? Nobody really believes the world is flat. Okay? And the people you think you're arguing against are political opponents. They're not actually belief systems you're arguing against. You don't even know what a belief system is. You don't have it defined. If you're not defining it in terms of behavior, you're not defining it meaningfully. And yet, you sit there and think you can bust chops of people who employ this methodology that's more effective because it allows both than yours possibly could be by itself. Permutation wins the round, all right? So look, fellow ENTPs, yes, we're all super rational. If you're still stuck on the atheism level, you need to met up, all right? You really do. It's embarrassing.